Thanks for coming round. We'll make you laugh before you go. Welcome to the Mermen. Welcome to the show.
Shout's done. You're terrible.
No, not too loud. Not too loud. Not too loud. I was trying to keep it light. Yeah.
Why?
Daddy doesn't feel good today.
Do you not? Are you sick?
No, I just had too many beers last night.
Yeah, you look bad. You were like coughing.
But is
Cool,
yeah.
I should just talk through the shell. Dave,
Just do the whole podcast through.
I am your father.
Oh boy. You're the one who said you weren't feeling good, that you were sick.
Yeah, well, sick podcast. I don't know if I'm sick yet. I just, on the drive over here, you know, when you start to feel like,
Yeah.
my throat's a little, could have COVID.
You want to play a game of germ Russian roulette?
We can spit in each other's mouth.
Yeah.
I'm going to move this here. Okay, that was a little bit further away.
Yeah, when my kids
Luis,
were.
are you sick?
No, I feel great.
Get ready.
Yeah,
It's
coming.
going to happen. I have these. I was talking to JJ Whitehead, a comedian friend of ours, on the way over here. And he reminded me that we bought these pills in Bali at a pharmacy that they told us, like, these are the best, whatever. They probably have some shit that's illegal, like in the United States or something, but they look like Pepto-Bismol. And I forgot about them. So when I get home, I'm going to pop them.
Like immunity pills or something?
I think they're like if you're getting like a cold or a flu or something, you pop them and you're like, and it like helps out. Cause the promoter over there, like, he told us about him. Is he British? Forget where he's from originally.
Placebo pills.
Yeah, but he's lived there forever. And he goes, oh, you got to buy these. So on the way to our gig, we bought them and it was like $10 for like 50. I don't know. So
There was this cough syrup called Buckley's that I think you can get in the States now, but back in the day, you can only get it in Canada. And it was really good shit. It was like if you had a sore throat or were getting like sick, you would take a spoonful of that and it was like sucking on a eucalyptus tree, dude. It cleared you out. Worked really good. So I remember one time I missed like school and then I came to school the next day and the teacher asked me like, Dave, I thought you were sick. What are you doing here? And I go, my mom gave me some Canadian cough medicine. And my friends thought that was the funniest shit. They made fun of me for it like forever. And I'm like, yeah, man.
because of the alliteration.
Probably.
Hey, should I be looking here? I noticed on the clips sometimes I'm here, but if I talk to Dave, then it's weird.
Well, this is what I do. I talk to you, but then when I know I said something brilliant or funny, I mug at the camera.
Dave thinks he's in a sitcom when we record this
That's
podcast.
stupid. But no, I mean,
Do you notice that,
like,
Luis?
Oh, yeah. Every single time.
I like looking at the
is there any
people
shot?
at home and just
I'm
be
gonna
like,
do
did
this.
you catch that?
I'll do this right now, just so I can get you sick.
Yeah.
I'll try it like this episode.
I used to do that when
Chili.
when I first started doing comedy. I was in a sketch comedy group in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they used to tell me that. They used to be like, stop mugging at the crowd. I'd deliver a joke and I'd be like,
Wow. You still do that.
I know. I do it. I just do it in everyday life too.
Everyday life.
That's why I kind of don't like that Luis is behind me because I have to look at him every now and then when I know when I know he heard my joke.
I see you angling sometimes to look at Louise, and I just want to tell you he's scrolling on his phone.
Yeah.
Just absolutely doesn't care about his fucking
Like,
I'm looking straight at him, and he's
I
like,
need validation, Luis.
he's just like, yeah, whatever. Unless you say something about Mexicans.
Yeah, then he's on the chat boards.
We haven't done Call a Mexican ever. We've done Call a Cuban, and that's all we've done.
Do you guys know any
Call a
Mexicans besides me?
Nicaraguan. Was it Call her Nicaraguan?
Yeah, Nika. Call it Nika.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, do we know any Mexicans?
Yeah.
do
Like,
you mean?
I feel like the only one you guys know is in this room right now with you guys. Who would you
No,
call?
I know other Mexicans. They're all in L.A. We could call Ernie Hurtado.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know Ernie?
Yeah.
Machete.
Wait, what?
My first podcast. That's his nickname, or it was.
I didn't know it was.
Yeah, he used to kill people with machete.
Oh.
Then he turned to podcasting. Saved his life. My first podcast that I ever did with Al Jackson, the What's What podcast.
Yeah, I remember that.
Should have talked about that when Al was on. You know why we stopped doing it? I'll give you two guesses.
Because Al couldn't be there on time.
There you go.
Yeah.
It wasn't there on time. It was just like, I had to do all the work.
Yeah.
Because eventually because it was our first one and I just moved to LA. I had no money. And then I stopped being able to afford to pay Ernie Like I was like, I can't pay him. And then we did it at the West Side Theater, had a little podcast studio. We did it briefly there. And I had to edit everything and do it all. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And then it just slowly devolved. But we had fun. And then I was like, we should bring it back. He's told me like 3 times, we should bring it back. I'm like, no. He's doing well.
Well, I'll remember that. I'll watch my P's and Q's so that you don't move on without me.
No, we got Luis to do all the work. I'm not
Do you think that's what the groundwork he was laying earlier? He's like, did you guys check the Google Docs that I made? Like, I'm doing all this work on Google Docs.
No, I just said I'm going to do this so we don't fucking repeat shit. But that's the only Mexican I know. It's Ernie Hurtado. No, I think I know some other Mexicans.
I'm sure I do. They're just forgettable.
Oh, all right. Had to stop scrolling on my phone for that one.
I have an embarrassing story involving a person that I believe is Mexican. I think she has to be.
Okay.
She's not a comic. She's a writer. She's a very successful writer. Vanessa Ramos. Do you know her?
No.
She worked on Superstore, and she had a show called Blockbuster that was on Netflix recently. She was the showrunner for that. Anyway, she's very funny. She used to write on all the roasts. She might still. She did Punch Up on Coco. She's done a lot of shit. So,
Punch Up on Coco, the movie?
yeah, the animated thing. I
That on
don't
Jerks
even
It?
know if she's credited, but I remember she posted about it. Yeah, it's funny. Coco's one of the best movies ever.
I've never seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
You should have to watch it just for. Have you seen Coco, Luis?
Of course.
Yeah, dude, that would be
I
It's
feel
like The
like
Godfather.
I feel like I learned more about Mexican culture watching Coco, and then I read that it's somewhat accurate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I felt like, okay, I'm learning. I didn't tell the story about the girl I was dating watching Coco.
Yeah, you did. You for sure did.
Yeah, and she started crying when we landed.
Well,
yeah, I told that story. Yeah.
that's why I haven't watched it, because if I was going to watch it, it'd be on a plane. And I
Oh, no,
already
no.
cry in every single movie I watch on a plane. Even if it's not a sad movie, I cry. And I've heard Coco gets you in the feels.
Oh, yeah. There's like 2 or 3 spots where you're like, you're not human if you're not crying. You're like, you'll at least be doing this, looking out the window of the plane. What's that, Grand Canyon down there?
It's about the Muerta de la... Dia de la Muerta. That's what it's about, right?
De los Muertos.
Yes.
By the way, I'm pretty sure, and she just texted me, my friend McCall, going to Mexico City with her for Dia de los...
Dia de los Muertas, Forrest.
It made fun of fucking day. Have you ever been there for that?
I got there the day of, like,
Yeah.
that was Muertos.
That's
So
what
I
we're
kinda-
planning to do. We wanted to go there. We talked about it. We were supposed to go to Italy. We had to cancel it for various reasons. And then, as my friend, you know McCall very well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so we said we'll pivot. We're gonna go to Mexico City, and then we said we're gonna go end of October instead. So be there in that.
Yeah.
That
Is that
plaza.
like the thing in Mexico? Is that like the big day?
I mean, I guess it's kind of like the most cultural.
But in Mexico City, that whole square is gonna be. There's the whole thing. But also Mexico City is really cool because the food's fucking bananas good. There's like
it's crazy.
From Michelin star rated to like street food. It's like so good. And then I think there's more art galleries in Mexico City than there is in Rome. There's something with Italy where it's like there's more something in Mexico City than there's in Italy. That's something that would I think it's an art gallery thing, like where you're like, oh, you would think there'd be like all these galleries. There is a lot of galleries in Rome and Italy and stuff. But anyways, there's a lot of cool cultural things to do there. Anyways, Vanessa Ramos, she is a great writer, and
And possibly Mexican.
she is. She's from she's from, or her family lives in San Antonio. I'm giving away too much. So, but anyways, we're doing a gig, me and Jim Jeffries, and she comes to the gig. I know her a little bit. She's friends with Jim and myself. And her parents come out because her parents live there. And this is so fucking embarrassing. I don't even know why I'm telling this story. And she introduces her parents, and her dad's name, I believe, is Joe. And I just heard Jose. I just thought it was Jose. And I go, hey, Jose. I go, hi, Jose, nice to meet you. And then it was like, no, my name's Joe. And I go, okay.
Dude, I got one of those.
I'm gonna
for
go
you.
curl up in a ball in the corner and die right now. And I think Vanessa said something like, I'm joking, but like about it that I was racist. Maybe she wasn't joking. I don't know. I'll have to reach out to her. But yeah, that. So,
Dude,
I
I
know
got
her. I think she's.
I got a story like that'll make your skin crawl. Do you know the whole story with Robert Schimmel?
Sure, he passed away. He's
Passed
dead.
away,
Yeah.
but legendary comic.
Yeah, he was not maybe the head writer on In Living Color.
Yeah, that sounds
He was
right.
definitely a writer, and you wouldn't think because he might have been. He worked on In Living Color as a writer. Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, very respected stand-up comedian. But there's a true story about him where he left his wife and married his daughter's best friend, who was a lot younger than him, obviously. And then he got cancer, and I think maybe that his ex-wife ended up taking care of him. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I heard the story, but definitely the important facts are he married a much younger woman who was his daughter's best friend. And so we were, I was doing shows in Phoenix.
Jesus Trejo, I know him.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Comedian. I was trying to think because I only know comedians here, and you. Yeah. Who else that worked on Jim Jeffries' show was Mexican?
Jared?
Jared.
Even I don't know if he was actually.
He paid him my last album. Last name's Hernandez. Let's just say, yeah. He's in LA. I feel like
Hispanic people don't like it when you get their nationality wrong.
that was a joke I used to do in Miami. You don't remember that?
When they were like, if you like call.
If I'd be like, hey, where are you from? Puerto Rico? I'm
Yeah,
Venezuelan. And I'd be.
Puerto Rican's like the most.
Yeah, but they'd be like, I'm Venezuelan. They'd be,
Yeah, they
and
get
then I
mad.
said, hey, calm down. You guys are almost exactly the same, but you all cook your beans different.
Yeah.
Was a joke. It would kill in Miami. I don't know. Is that racist?
Maybe.
Is it accurate?
So
Accurate, yes, but
There you go. So I don't think it's. Look, you're fighting for your life. Edit that out. Here's another one I did. You want to hear another one I did that I used to open with in Miami? Be like, hey, I was like, where? I was like, I'd say Latin. That's what I go. Latin people make some noise, you know, and they go, hey, because it's Miami, and there'd be at least Cubans, but other. And then I'd be like, that wasn't like a request. That was more of a statement. You guys are really loud.
make some noise.
I was like, can you turn down the samba music? That would kill too in Miami. Racist comic Forrest.
So the guy who's
Edit
on
all those out.
the guy who's on the show with me goes, hey, Robert Schimmel's wife is here and she wants to say hi. And I go, oh, cool. Yeah, I would love to meet her. He's like, cool, I'm bringing her in the green room. I'm like, all right. So he brings her in and I look her in the face and I go, hey, I really, it's so nice to meet you. I really thought highly of your dad. And she goes, my husband. And I go, why did I just do that? I knew it wasn't his daughter. And my brain just,
Should go.
it's like when your brain goes, don't say that, don't say
Did
that.
you hit
And
your
that's,
head against anything? Sometimes it did.
man, I think my face said it all. I was just like, yeah, that's the one thing I shouldn't have said.
Orlando Leyva.
What is he?
It's Dominican.
Oh yeah. I knew that.
You know what? I don't think I know a lot of Mexican people in LA. Even though I've lived here 10 years now, I know lots of Hispanic people from back in Miami, but here it's just like all fucking comedians. So if you're not a comedian that I know and Mexican, then I don't, I know some other comedians that are Mexican. I don't.
All right, I thought of a competition we can do today.
I've met Gabriel Iglesias
Hey,
several times. He was on our podcast,
So have I.
remember?
yeah.
he likes
Does
my
he count?
barbecue. He likes my
that?
barbecue.
Does Fluffy count?
Yeah, I mean, do you know him? Know him?
If I saw him on the streets, he would be like, huh?
I'll tell you this. I do remember him being on the podcast, and I remember his coffee order because he left his Starbucks cup behind.
Yeah.
Coffee with 10 Splendas. That, like...
Trying to lose weight, man.
Yeah, a little weird that you took note of that. But
Yeah. He didn't want that shit out now.
hey, I thought of a competition we
Public
could do today.
That's more racist than my bean joke.
Is it, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. It's racist against white people. First of all, I just want to go back to the bean joke. All right. I don't think it's racist. First of all, I think it's accurate. And would you get upset if somebody called you?
A beaner, yeah.
No, not
Oh
beaner.
my God,
Jesus.
jeez, Luis.
No, I'm talking about from a different country.
Yeah,
Would you get
don't bring racist slurs into our podcast.
Would you get
Luis.
upset if somebody said, "Hey, what are you Honduran?"
I wouldn't get upset, but...
Where's
Yeah, I
the
don't know, 'cause
line? What
Panamanian?
Yeah, Cuban.
I really... I mean, if they're
In
genuinely asking...
Miami, this is like I'm telling you, it was a thing. Like, because sometimes you'd be like, "Oh, hey, where are you from?" Like, whatever. Like
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, you're from Colombia. People are like, "What the?
Yeah.
How dare
You think I'm Puerto Rican?
Now, there's a lot of racism between Hispanic.
That's why I came up with that joke.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Mexicans
So I was
and
like, hey.
Salvadorians hate each other.
It's like the same thing as someone to me was like, "You Swedish?" I wouldn't be like, "You fucking out of your mind."
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, what would you if like?
Get the fuck out of here with that Swedish shit.
Do you think it's happening for the first
And
time?
then you could say white people are all the same. You just,
No, but I bet it's
go to
happening
different
between
grocery stores in different regions.
I bet it's happening between states now, though. Like if you were in Sweden on vacation and someone was like, to someone who lives in Texas, or they were like, "Oh, are you from California?" Not from California. Fuck that place.
Yeah, but if you were
from Texas,
if you're in Sweden,
I'm a different kind of white guy.
If you're in Sweden,
not the bad white guy, I'm the good white guy.
If you're in Sweden, and you said, "Hey, what are you, Norwegian?" They'd probably lose their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It wasn't like that 10 years ago. If someone was like, "Oh, you're from United
sure
States,"
was. The example I gave was 10 years ago.
No, the other. I'm talking about white people in America.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be like offended that someone thought you were from a different part.
We should call a Cuban and ask him if that joke's racist.
I thought of a competition we could do today.
I think it's racist for Mexican, but I think their Mexicans are way more
We
sensitive.
should call
the
several
ones I know.
Cubans. Yeah.
Luis, Jesus Trejo, Ernie. I don't even know Jesus that well. Know him well enough. I saw him and have a conversation.
I could call Jesus.
No, I'm yeah, you're on tour with him, right?
Yeah. Here. Tell me this is a good competition. What
about all the?
Bro, you're firing so hot today.
No. I'm not done with the Mexican people I know.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know this was such a.
All of the gang members that lived outside of my house.
Oh, even the dead guy.
Casper.
All right.
He always asked me about fishing.
Now he does.
No. Before he died. Before he was murdered in front of my house.
I thought you were seeing him
of me.
in your dreams or something.
And then there was Ronnie, who used to live in my house. He watched my stand-up. He wants to be a stand-up. He did some stand-up. He did an open mic somewhere. But then I didn't know he was watching my stand-up. And then one day, I think I told this, one day he just shouts to me across the street, "Hey, Crohn's disease." I was like, what the fuck?
He's just giving you premises?
That's what I thought. That was a gig. That was a bit I did on Conan.
Oh.
But I don't fucking, he's yelling, "Crohn's disease." I was like, "Hi, it's funny." I was like, oh, okay, thanks, Ronnie. Thanks, Ronnie. I mean, you guys friends. I told the story, the guy get murdered for sure, right?
Yeah, you did.
I didn't put that on the list. You got to put that in there.
Yeah, you got to update that Google Doc.
Okay, sorry, I'm coming in hot.
I'm just too hungover to keep up with you today, and you're just
Before we do the
rapid-firing.
thing, should we call a Cuban?
Well, listen, I have an idea.
Okay.
Second quarter.
We like doing the phone call thing, and we like doing the competitions. What if we did a competition where we both put our phones out like this, and then Luis has to give a category. We see who gets that category on the phone first. So, like what you were just, the example.
Category?
Yeah, so like just using the example from what we were just doing, if Luis was like
You're talking about a race?
like a Mexican, and then we got to.
Are you only talking about racial?
No, like it's a race.
No. But is there other categories besides
Yeah,
race?
he could be like someone you went to elementary school with, and you got to get
Got
that person on the phone.
Okay.
And then whoever gets someone to actually pick up wins.
Only-
And then we
only-
talk to that person
Only
for a
one
minute.
of us can be attached to the computer.
No, we do it on the microphones.
What about one of us is attaches?
No, that's not fair.
Luis doesn't like this.
Nah.
Because then you can hang up on him.
What don't you like? You don't like it into the microphone?
I mean, in case it's like both phones ringing at the same time, I don't know.
It's fun. Here, look, do a trial. Pull your phone out. We'll do a trial.
Okay.
I think this is radio genius.
Phones out. Sorry.
Phone's out. Here. So unlock it.
Yeah, I can just do it real quick with my face. Here's the thing about this is we both are going to pick up our phones and go. I think what you really want to do is you want to give one person an assignment and then another person an assignment, right?
No, I think it's funnier if we race each other.
And then Luis grades which one was better. What do you think?
Better. What's the criteria for better?
Just you'll know. You'll know.
Okay, so are we doing races or are we doing?
No. Like he said, it could be anything. Like call someone from your elementary school.
Yeah.
Call someone famous, maybe.
Yeah.
Depends what level of fame you're talking about.
Well,
God.
go.
Wait. Call somebody that like an ex-girlfriend.
I was gonna say like a childhood crush or like the youngest crush you could think of. Not like
Hey, wait, Luis.
not currently. young.
Luis, man, you're gonna get us canceled this episode.
Is this good podcasting? Working out this bit online.
Because if I say just an ex-girlfriend, that's too easy. Think of like the oldest, like I don't know, furthest back ex-girlfriend or crush.
Yeah, I don't have their number.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I have all of mine.
But you
Dave
can
would be winning
you
here.
can call them through Facebook and stuff like that. They have-
Oh, that's true. That would be weird. They're just at work and they get a call from us. Sorry, I had to win a competition.
Call somebody in another country. That's expensive. I can do it.
Yeah.
Got lots of friends in other countries.
Only
Luis is my only Mexican friend. Or Ernie. Call Ernie.
Actually, you guys should call the person you like the least. I don't know if you guys have beef, but then you're forced to call them. So,
we should just do that anyways. Call someone that you.
Okay, you do it first. Let's do that. That sounds like a good one, but you do it first. Hook up your phone to the thing, to the Roadcaster.
Somebody who I don't have beef with anybody.
Do it while you're thinking.
Okay.
What do you mean you don't have beef with anyone?
I can't think of anyone that
I have beef. I remember that comic you told me had beef with me.
Yeah, but I don't remember that guy's name.
Did we talk about that on the podcast?
Do I do it on Bluetooth or Wi-Fi?
Guy that hates me?
Bluetooth.
Because someone the other day told me, they're like, everybody seems to like you for us. I'm like, I don't think that's
Roadcaster.
accurate. And then I said, there's a guy that Dave said hates me, but he deserves it because I fucking shut him down.
Somebody who I have beef with.
Someone who wouldn't enjoy a call from you right now.
You can just call me.
I was gonna do that, bro.
Yeah, is that what you think you're gonna do? I'd be like, dude, you know what? Today there was a package just in because I live on the side of a house right now that I'm renting from a place where it's like the side of, and there was a package, and I'm like, oh God, I hope that's not the package for me that you've been fucking talking about. I was like,
We're in his head, Louis.
I picked it up and I was like, oh, okay, it's for the people I rent from. I was like, so
would you say it was like human size?
No, I looked at the name. It's not, yeah.
But was it a package big? Like,
I'm
hypothetically, is it a package big enough that a person can fit in it?
I'm leaving next week.
Okay.
For Europe, son.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
You better get that package here soon. Actually, it's the magic of podcasting. I'm actually not leaving for about 3 weeks. But next week, when this podcast comes out, I'm just letting you guys know why. Fucking Daddy Dave over here tries to figure out technology.
Daddy Dave.
It's called the Roadcaster, but yeah. You going through someone you have beef with?
Yeah, I don't have anybody.
Come on, dude. Joe Rogan?
I don't have his number. And I don't have beef with Joe Rogan. What are you talking about?
I was just trying to make it so, that's how you get listeners, dude.
All right.
Yeah, like he's very upset.
I don't want that smoke.
Like he got upset that I haven't mentioned that. He goes, don't put that out there.
No, I think you should cut that out, to be honest.
What? We keep my bean thing in?
Yeah.
Third quarter.
All right, what's your Google Doc say we're supposed to talk about next?
That's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be, man, hey, water polo.
I can talk water polo. I just had
swimming.
I had a really good water polo weekend. My son went and played on an
go.
ODP, Olympic Development
That was
Program team.
3 weeks ago.
That was 3 weeks ago. You're right.
Yeah.
But it feels like it was just this past
Maybe if
weekend.
you check the Google Doc, you'd see there's a date on there that we're supposed to be talking about around that date.
He did good. He did well.
Old news.
Forrest, didn't you used to teach swim lessons?
Oh, whoa. I did. Funny you should ask that.
You should expound on that.
Did you know I used to teach swim lessons? Give swimming lessons?
To senior citizens, right? No. Speaking of Jesus Trejo, I taught him how to swim.
What?
Me and Bert taught Jesus how to swim.
This is how you should have done the segue. Like, hey, you said Jesus Trejo's name. We taught Jesus how to swim. Then you would have talked about. Then I would have talked about how I was.
Speaking of Puerto Ricans. Oh no, he's Mexican. Speaking of Mexicans, I taught Jesus Trejo how to swim. Hey, Forrest, didn't you professionally teach swim lessons?
You should just title this "Canceled." This is the end.
This is the end.
Wait, you taught him?
Yeah, he never learned how to swim.
And you and Bert taught him how to swim
because we were on the road for like 2 months during the pandemic tour. Yeah, and we were going to go rafting down the Rio Grande.
Are either of you qualified to teach him?
We're both pretty qualified watermen. Yes.
Qualified waterman.
Yeah. So we taught him. Yeah, we taught him. We put our speedos on and went to a hotel and used the pool. And then he got confidence So then everywhere we'd go, we'd find the pool to get in and swim. We're like, hey, make sure we're here watching you, dude. And he got really into it, and it was a very liberating. You want me to call him and ask him about it?
Yeah, so you should have called.
Right. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see if he picks.
Do you want to hear about how I was a swimming instructor? I was certified.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was certified to be a swimming instructor. I, trained to do it, not only on how to teach swimming lessons, but also give the first aid if necessary. You guys just threw caution to the wind, teaching Jesus. Just hope for the best. Good thing he's still alive. Would have lost.
And then we went. Yeah, and then we put him on a raft and went down the Rio Grande.
Did you?
Yeah.
That seems
Santa Fe.
You put him on a raft.
Yeah.
Go home.
I was wearing like all red, white, and blue stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna have to pretend like I'm a border patrol.
Please leave your message for.
Yeah, so I taught swimming lessons for Miami-Dade County. It was part of the public school system, I believe. And so in my summers, when I first started college, I would do these swim. That was my job. And it was basically swim lessons for people that in areas of Miami that were places where people wouldn't be able to afford to give their children swim lessons, you know?
Yeah.
And also were not surprising, a lot of those areas were like the highest drowning rates, because there's, even if you're not near the ocean in Miami, as people know that are there, there's tons and tons of canal systems that are there.
Pools,
and lakes,
canals.
and there's water
large
everywhere. So
fountains.
you definitely should know how to swim in Miami, because there's a chance you could just be in a body of water by accident or fall into it or something like that. And so I taught in areas, Overtown, which people will, you'll probably know these areas from Grand Theft Auto. So it's like Overtown, Liberty City, Brownsville was another area.
That's just what Forrest called it.
No, it's not. That's the name of the city. You can look it up. And these were just areas that were like pretty, like were pretty, like, put it this way, I would probably be the only white person within like 3 or 4 square miles, like when I was doing, you know. So, and it was like, okay, so you would show up to these swimming lessons sometimes, and all of the aluminum for the railings for the getting out of the pools and the ladders and stuff would be stolen. And that would just be recycled for money and stuff by crackheads.
Like copper wires.
Crackheads or drug addicts, whatever. Yeah, and then like when we were like in between swim lessons, we'd have like 45 minutes or whatever off. There would be people, we'd be having races, and there'd be people gambling on us outside of the fence, and then they would try to give us our cut afterwards.
Wait,
yeah.
They would race the kids that were learning how to swim?
No, us, the instructor. It was me, and there was like 2 other instructors and lifeguards. So there'd be like 2 or 3 lifeguards on duty at these
I
pools.
thought you meant you were like teaching kids how to swim, and then people were putting money on which kids were going to win the race. That'd be fun as hell.
No, none of the kids were going to win, because when you did the swim test with them, you would just drop them off of a diving board.
Yeah.
And see what their, someone would be in the water waiting for them, and you'd see what their skill level was. Some of them would just go down to the bottom, you would scoop them up, bring the other ones would like struggle, and so you put them in the different groups based on their skill level. But when we had in between the kids classes, because we'd have about 3 or 4 classes a day, we had downtime if we weren't eating lunch or something. And so we just end up having races one day at this one. We were just like racing. Like I'd race the lifeguard, and the lifeguard would race one of the other swimming instructors. And while this was going on, this kind of small crowd started gathering there. There's people that I guess were just bored, and they started. It soon became apparent that they were gambling on us and the races, and they were like, "I got that guy, I got the white boy, I got that guy, I got the left," whatever. And then so we'd have these races, and then there was a couple times where they tried to shove money through the fence, like to give it to us, like, "Hey, this is your cut."
That's
like there was a percentage based on like if they're gambling that you were supposed to get some of it, and we're like, "Nah, I can't take any of the money, man. I work for the county."
That's like the backyard brawls that we were talking about last episode, but much less exciting version of it.
Yeah.
All right.
But and so, anyways, I have my tooth is chipped here. You ever seen that? Right there.
Okay.
So it's chipped for 2 reasons. One was I was trying to get a needle.
You never got it fixed?
I have, but it just pops off because it's like on the tip.
Because it's so small.
I exacerbated it. There was an original chip, made it worse.
Okay.
From the original chip, because when I pulled out a basketball needle, that like the nipple or whatever broke off of, and and we was like air was escaping, so I went and grabbed it with my teeth and pulled it out so we could play basketball. Otherwise, it was going to deflate, so I chipped it more. But the original chip was because I was working at the Overtown pool, and it's like when you go you're on 995 and it curls around to go to Miami Beach, and there's that football field down there and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a swimming pool right there, so I worked at that swimming pool. And the guy that was my boss and his son were the other 2 swimming instructors. And I don't know if they grew up in the neighborhood of Overtown, but they knew the neighborhood well. And and they're like, "Hey, you want to go out to lunch this one place? It's really good." I go, "Yeah, for sure." And he goes, "You like rib sandwiches?" I go, "Fuck yeah, I like ribs." But all I'm thinking about is McRib. That's the only rib sandwich I've ever had is the McRib. And I'm like, dude, it's going to be like the McRib, but we're going to like a real like smoke shack kind of thing, We go in there, we order rib sandwiches, whatever, and I just take it and bite. Bone in on the wrist. Oh, no. It was in between. I didn't know you were supposed to I just bit down and shit my tooth, and I go, I was like, and yeah, that was embarrassing.
Yeah, I knocked these 2 teeth out. These are fake.
With a rib sandwich?
No.
Yeah.
A rock.
Well, mine was more tasty.
Bit into it.
Yeah.
No, I fell face first onto a boulder.
So just everybody out there, if you've had a McRib, good for you. But
Yeah.
all the other rib sandwiches are not. They're not going to be. I don't know. That's not even a sandwich to me. It was my whole thing. I'm not going to complain. I was in like a. I was not in a area. I'm like, what the fuck is it? Where's the manager at with this? But I was just like, yeah, that's not a sandwich, guys. That is 2 pieces of bread with ribs in the middle that you didn't tell me the bone was in. Yeah.
I never formally taught swim lessons, but I have taught some people how to, or help people learn how to swim. Did I ever tell you how I got into coaching?
No. I think the episode's over.
When
This episode over almost.
probably
This episode has been sponsored by
a hangover.
23andMe.
Yeah, my 6 IPAs I had way
Find
too late
out where
last
you're
night.
from with a quick swab of your mouth, and you'll be able to say, I'm not from fucking Denmark, you piece of shit, in no time. That's one of the sponsors.
Okay.
The other one is Goya.
Roadcaster, apparently.
No, Goya. Remember Goya?
Beans, yeah, the beans joke. Got you.
Yeah, Goya. Killing it. So how did you get into coaching?
When I was in college,
Dave, how'd you get into coaching?
oh man, that's funny. I was just
Talk
thinking of this
about it,
story the other day. When I was graduating college, I got an email for a water polo camp going on in South Florida. I'd never been to a camp before, and it was
Never been to a camp?
I'd never been to a water polo camp
At
that point.
I thought you meant just camp in general. I was like, with all your exploits of helicopters and airplanes and water
Oh
skiing
no,
and
I've been to
skiing,
camps.
figured you'd do a camp.
I went to water ski camp several summers. Christian Family Ski School in Winter Haven.
What?
Yeah,
How's it Christian?
that's just what they called it. Christian.
Do you get like on one ski and then you cross the other one?
No, it was just run by a Christian family, and they thought that would be a good name for their camp.
Yeah, you don't even need skis.
Yeah.
Get it?
Hey,
Walk on water.
we are firing on all cylinders today. So I hit up some of the young guys who were on my water polo team. I was like, hey, why don't you guys sign up for this camp, and I'll go too because I want to see what camps are like. And you guys can all stay at my house, and we'll have a fun week, right? So like 4 or 5 of them were into it. Like, okay. So, they were all like freshmen in college, and I was about to graduate, and I don't care. I'll go be a part of it. And on the way down to the camp, their car broke down. So they called me up like, Dave, we're not going to make it. I'm broke. I don't have money to fix my car. We're just not going to go. And I'm like, fuck, dude. All right. Well, I already paid for the camp, and I'm in Miami. So like, I'm going to go. So I went to this camp, and it was all high school kids and me. Right? I'm like 22 years old. And I was hungover every day. They're like getting ready for their season, and they're like putting them and all the coaches are like, what are you doing here? And I'm just like, I wanted to see what a water polo camp was like. They're like, all right, we're cool with it. They liked that it was like, but
You know what you do that I don't do in life?
go out of my comfort zone,
No, I got on my comfort
Oh.
zone. No, you
hang out with kids.
when there's something that you should pull the chute on and bail,
Yeah.
most normal people would be like, yeah, I'm just gonna walk away from this. You're like, let's fucking see how it goes.
Yeah,
Like,
I
you just
feel-
dive in. Yeah.
I fear regret. Like I would regret not going and thinking I missed out on something versus going and it being terrible. I'd rather just go and it be terrible.
But when somebody's like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
Your inclination is not to be like, "Yeah, good question. Let me re-examine that." Your inclination is to go full bore ahead.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I doing
Why
here?
wouldn't I be
What
here?
are you doing here? Is the question. Anyways, I just talked to headquarters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all
I'll
right.
never forget this. The last day we were doing like a turn. They broke us up into teams, and there was this dude on my team who was like the best high school player or whatever.
He's the
So
best.
I kept trying to go in and play my position, which is kind of like center in basketball, and you post up in front of the goal. And so during one of the timeouts, the high school coach who was coaching our team goes, "Dave, get out of the middle. Billy's the best whole set in the whole state of Florida. You got to let him go in there and work." And I just looked up at him and I went, "I'm 22 years old. Like I'm the best whole set in this region. Forget about Florida." Like,
Whole set?
Yeah, like I was like all conference and
I
like
don't even know what whole set means.
it's like the center in basketball.
don't
whatever, yeah.
don't act like people know what fucking water polo terms are.
So I just basically told him I'm going in, and so I went in like every play. I scored like 3 goals in a row. I just looked at the guy every time. It was just like, and I'm hungover right now, and I just did that, like.
Yeah, but still, they were high school kids.
I know.
So you were just the bully. You were the
Yeah.
guy in Dazed and Confused. Remember that?
I think
the guy that's still paddling him, and even though he's graduated, like they're supposed to graduate 4 years ago. He's like, fuck that. I'm still hitting these kids with paddles.
Fourth quarter.
I gotta tell you, I've always myself like reflection of myself is that I'm like kind and I like stick up for people. And I just recently found out I think I'm a bully. I think I was always a bully that just didn't see like shallow Hal. Like I don't see myself through the right prism. But
That sounds like it. Our last episode, you made a guy look at your nut.
yeah,
Told him it was gum, and then you made him get his face into it.
I didn't make him do that.
Well, you didn't not.
I
make
lured him into
You did
it.
not make him do it. Like
I was-
the only reason he was putting his face near your nut is because you told him it was gum.
Yeah, well, it's because he was wondering why there was hair in it. So he was going in for a closer inspection.
Yeah, that's bully shit.
I told these guys on the
I couldn't move to LA. First podcast we did, I couldn't move to LA because I had cats that has responsibility, and you were bullying me with artwork.
I was coaxing you into following your dreams. See, I'm a hero.
I don't have dreams, only nightmares.
I was bullying you with artwork.
Do you think he's a bully? Do you feel Dave's a bully?
He's a bully in a nice man's body. It's weird.
I was telling these guys the story about how there was this girl that went to my high school who I guess she had been attacked by dogs when she was younger, and so she had like some deformity on her face. So
Oh, so did you make her a necklace out of milk bone seeds?
no, I
you
did
might want
that.
this.
I did that for Mardi Gras. So everyone called her Scarface, which is very mean, and I felt very bad for her. So I befriended her, and I was always very nice to her. But I don't think she was used to people being nice to her, so she mistook my being nice to her as like I liked her. And so then she had a huge crush on me, and she would like never leave me alone. But whatever, I was nice. I got it. So we were at a football game one time, and she came up and like threw her arms around me and was like hugging me and stuff. And all the mean people in my school, they were like they went, "Oh, Dave fucked Scarface," and then the whole student section started chanting, "Dave fucked Scarface, Dave fucked Scar."
Where
And
did you go to school? 1980s high school?
I know,
A movie
basically.
or something? Like I went to high school in Miami. I don't remember any of this.
So
kind of
I didn't
shit.
want to make her feel bad. I felt so bad that everyone was doing this to her, and so I was just like, "Yeah," I go, whatever you guys think." I go, "Yeah, and I just like leaned into it, And
It's like a John Hughes movie.
yeah, so I was telling this story to the guys on the bus, like thinking that I was being like the hero in the story, and they go, "Dave, what was that girl's name?"
Yeah.
And I go, "I don't have any idea." they're like, "Well, if everyone called her Scarface and you think that was wrong, you surely knew her real name." I go, "Nope, I didn't even know it back then." I just know I said hi to her in the hallway.
So yeah, so not as good a person as you think is what you're saying.
Yeah,
How'd she look? Like besides the face?
I think she was okay.
Yeah, it's like one of those girls you'd graduate from high school. You'd be like, I didn't. In high school, I don't know.
She probably went and had cosmetically taken care of, and she's probably a smoke show.
In high school, my experience in high school was who you thought was attractive, and this is probably men and women, are never the people that were actually attractive. Because in high school, you have this like weird perception of what, maybe not now because everyone has like social media and phone stuff, but like you'd be like, yeah, that girl's the hottest girl in school, and then you'd be like, oh, how did I not notice that other girl? Like,
Yeah.
like 5 years later, you're like, well, she was like a model. And
Yeah,
we weren't-
people were like didn't like the redhead, but now you look back and you're like, oh, the redhead was probably the smoke show.
There was a girl in my
pardon me.
my was business management or was it typing? It was one of those fucking classes right after lunch that you would be like, we're gonna be late to that.
Yeah.
And I remember it wasn't until like the day I graduated that I was like, that girl is one of the most attractive people I've ever seen in my life. And she was just quiet when sitting in the corner, and you're like, she would be like a fucking like A-list actress, super like just like you could get acting work even if you don't know how to act. So they're just like, we want to put you on camera right now, And then I remember the other girls, you'd be like, oh yeah, she's the hottest girl in school, and you'd be like, it's just gross. Yeah, Scarface. You can't even look in your yearbook and see what her name is. Do you have your yearbook still?
Oh yeah, I have all that shit.
Yeah, you should bring that in. I just threw all mine out.
Really?
Because I had them and I'm carrying them around. I'm like, what am I going to do? Reminisce?
Are you going to move to my neighborhood?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, this is similar to the conversation we have in race. You can just do this off fucking.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking we could wear our jackets and go to the brewery and hang out together. And
No, we're not going to do that.
I'll
But
introduce
you
you to
have
all
your
my
yearbook
dad
still?
friends.
Yeah.
But you're younger. How long are you going to keep it? You're like, do you go back and look at it? It's just a bunch of dick drawings. There's a lot of dick
I
drawings.
was going to ask, was that a thing in your guys' time too?
Yeah.
Just dicks everywhere?
There's always dicks.
Yeah,
if
dicks.
you're a guy, I'm sure women don't get dicks drawn by other women. But it's like, but the embarrassing thing is that you'd have to hand it to like girls.
Yeah.
You'd be like, hey, can you sign this? Do not go past page 87. Because I would
Yeah.
tell guys, I'm like, if you're going to draw a dick, do it past like age 87. That's the dick area. Women up in the front. And I think I threw mine away because I was like, I don't care about these. Did I make a mistake? I don't know. Do you like yours?
I mean, I like it, but at the same time, I can't imagine when I'm going to look at it again, you know? Like
I only look at it when I'm moving, and I'm like, oh, here it is. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, cool. I'm glad I'm keeping this. And I'm like, so the final last time I moved, I go, why am I keeping this shit?
Yeah.
I had mine from junior high school too.
Oh, shit.
The only thing that'd be fun is for you guys to see the pictures, but those are readily available on the internet. Me in junior high school and high school, feathered hair. I think Dave's posted
Let
something.
me see if I can go 0 for 3 today.
Who's this? Did you do Roadcaster?
Yeah.
It's not working. Oh, wow. He did it, everybody.
This is my buddy Danny. I think we called him before. He's got a photographic memory when it comes to names and birthdays.
Is he,
So he doesn't know her name. Nobody knows it.
what race?
He's Cuban.
Call it Cuban part 2.
Yo,
Danny,
what's up, Dave?
you're on the Mermen podcast with Forrest, Sean, Dave Williamson.
All right, what's up, guys?
Do you remember the girl in high school that everyone called Scarface?
Isn't there something with you and her?
Yeah. Well, that's what everyone said.
Who's everyone?
Here's the thing: is he was retelling the story, Danny. This is Forrest, and he couldn't remember her name, so he only knew her by her nickname, which is not, you wouldn't want to be called that. And so he was talking about how he's not really the good guy he thinks he is, even though he was befriended her.
Yeah.
And he can't remember her name, and he's hoping you remember her name.
Do you remember her name?
Oh man, I can't say that I do. I don't even know if I knew it at one point.
This poor girl, man. Nobody knew
Yeah,
this
I
girl's
know.
name.
You're gonna have to get out your yearbook.
Yeah,
Do you remember what happened at a high school football game with her?
of course, man. Of course, I remember.
What was it?
Dave fucks go.
Wasn't there a chant or something that you had sexual relations?
Wow. Well, thank you for keeping it PG. It's a very
Wait.
family-friendly podcast.
We had some good nicknames for people in high school, though, didn't we?
Everybody.
Wait, what was
Yeah,
Dave's
that's what we
nickname?
did.
What's Dave's nickname?
Dave had a few. Snow Cheek was one of them.
Snow Cheeks.
Snow Cheeks.
Yeah,
That was
we
the
brought
last
that one
episode.
up.
Gary Graham.
Yeah.
Uh,
Powder.
Are you looking for a particular one?
No.
Oh no, I didn't know. I just curious if you remembered some of Dave's. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I going to ask you too? Fuck.
Have you seen Dave on a plane recently?
You'd run into me at an airport.
No.
All
Inside
right.
joke.
I can't remember. I have one more thing for you. And I can't remember.
Well, let me know.
All right, buddy. I'll call you back in a minute.
Later, guys.
Man, that poor girl, man. Nobody.
You're gonna have to look in your fucking yearbook.
Yeah.
Then you don't know what to do. You have to scan
There was-
every photo till you see someone with a disfigured face.
I'm trying to think of some of the good nicknames. My buddy Jeff.
I'm sure it's going to be easy to find in your yearbook.
Yeah.
Because someone's going to have drawn a dick with,
Yeah.
with you attached to it.
Yeah, going, "Hey, you."
and her coming on her face.
We had there was the one person that we called Shorty Big Redhead, which I thought was a pretty great nickname.
It's too long.
Yeah, but it flows. Shorty Big Redhead. And then there was a girl we called Big Bird, which is really mean.
Yeah. It's not even that original.
No, but if you saw her. And then what was the other good? Oh, there was one.
You smoking cigarettes now? What's going on?
Oh, there was this one kid.
You sound like you smoke 12 packs a day.
They called Smush Face. There's one kid they called him Smush Face.
Why smush face?
Because he looked like his face had been smushed.
Yeah, sorry, that was a stupid question.
Yeah, what do you think? These are like highbrow fucking concepts.
Yeah, we weren't writing Shakespeare here.
Yeah, because yes, if you look back at Edgar Allan Poe's work, The Raven, there is a character, Smishface.
We were terrible people.
His name was Edgar.
Man, if I ever wronged you in high school, I'm really sorry. I was nice though, man. I was nice to everybody. I used to
You
watch.
think your high school's listening to this?
Well, my buddy Fred Smith wrote a blog about us.
Scarface,
So
eh?
probably going to get. Oh,
Scarface.
man. I'm really fucking up because he just promoted this to everyone in our high school, that blog. And now this is going to be like the first episode to hear me making fun of everybody in our high school.
All right. Well, it's okay. I'm getting canceled. So
That's true.
This podcast. I think we're done.
Yeah.
We've been on for 2 hours.
Feels like fucking forever.
Feels like 3 hours, and we're sick.
I'm hungover. I'm going to go take a nap.
Great. Well, I think we can wrap it up.
Yep.
What do you think about this podcast, Luis? Where'd you rank it?
You want me to be honest?
Yeah.
Oh, dang it. I was going to play the 2 minutes left and just interrupt me, but I'm not connected.
Man. Even Luis is fucking struggling to get.
Terrible. Because you're on the Roadcaster. You got to click off, dude.
I got to get off it? All right.
All right. Come on, Dad.
Sorry.
Get off there.
All right. There we go.
All right. Luis. Hey, Luis, where would you rank this podcast?
You want me to be honest?
Yeah. Dude, you still fucked it up. I watched you do shit over there where I was like, I think he's ready. And then you look
I'm
like
off.
you're ready.
It's not my fault.
I
I'm
know.
off.
He was flicking. He was doing stuff with the mouse and doing stuff with the buttons. And I'm like, he's ready. He's ready for it. Hey, Luis. I don't know if this podcast, I don't know how many we've done. 37 now? 36?
This is 31?
29? I don't know.
Yeah.
31. Yeah. 31st. Where would you rank this podcast?
You want me to be honest?
Yeah.
Please be honest.
2 minutes left. Dos minutos.
So number 2
Same.
overall. Pretty cool.
Numero dos.
I didn't think it was that good. I thought you should I thought you were going to actually play for do back to back. Let's try it again. Luis, hey, where would you this podcast, 31st one we've done. Woo, seems like just yesterday we started. Where would you rank this podcast?
Want me to be honest?
Yeah.
Forrest Shaw,
And
Dave Williamson,
Yeah. We need to get better technology for you over there. I'm seeing what you're doing. You're doing all these buttons.
Castillo.
Who's that?
Bullshit.
Who's Lewis? I thought you could all do it on those pads, like you were doing your own beats.
now I got
Wait, why has that never been played in our podcast?
That needs to be every episode.
Do it again.
well, you guys got to, I don't want to say you need to deserve it, but you got to like hype it up. So,
Now, when we start, like, let's pretend we're starting the podcast again.
Okay. Hey. Let's just do it over.
Yeah, that's how everyone should start. I'll blow the conch. What was that?
I'm like, because this is all the stuff that I used to use for my
What was that other one? Man, his podcast is way better than ours.
Yeah. You put effort into his.
We had a segment called Foo of the Week. And so we would debate, we would pick a Foo of the Week, as you can see, and we'd put them up against a fight. Who's
Oh,
the
that's
biggest
racist. That's Asian. Asian hate.
Foo? No, Foo.
Yeah,
What up,
Asian
fool?
hate.
What's up, Foo?
Oh, yeah. Okay. There.
Well, we're sorry if we offended anybody with this podcast, specifically the class of 96 at Palmetto High School. And or any Hispanic origined people.
Origin to people.
Yeah. Hey guys, I might be coming to St. Louis soon. Indianapolis, Louisville, out of Louisville, Boise, Grand Rapids, Vegas. Check out my calendar, davewilliamson.com. Got more dates that I'm adding, including with Forrest Shaw in Florida. At Dave W Comedy on Instagram. Check out the Meet Dave podcast if you like barbecue. I need to go take a nap. I'm really struggling.
Yeah, ForrestShaw.net. Hey, come to any of the shows you see on there. I'm going to be in Europe for a little bit, but definitely July 9th in Philly if you guys are near there. That's the most important one. That my whole life rests on that show.
Where? Philly? July 9th?
July 9th.
I'll help
Naughty Mermaid's coming out.
Oh, yeah. I'll help you promote that.
Well, get on it. We only have 3 months.
All right, let's go sleep.
For they are the mermen.